Hi, today we're going to make a dish that my family really likes. It's a simple pasta. I think we're going to have to name it here. I don't know where I got the idea. I probably saw something in a picture that inspired me, but it's some pasta and some cauliflower and some breadcrumbs. When I was going to make it, we would just say, or I would just say, I'm making that cauliflower pasta, but we'll call it toasted cauliflower spaghetti. It's really simple, it's really tasty, and everyone in my house really likes it. Uh, we got some obvious things. Well, salt, olive oil, a little bit of white wine, a big head of cauliflower. I'll probably use about a third of it. About 2 slices of sourdough bread. I've taken the ends here of it. If you had a big oval like this, it'd probably be about 2 pieces from the middle. Package of spaghetti. This is a 500-gram package. I'll probably use about 400 grams of it, like about 100 grams per person of spaghetti. 2 shallots, and about 4 cloves of garlic. I got a big bunch of nice Italian parsley. I've washed it already. We'll probably use about half of this. That much of it we'll use a fair bit. And of course some cheese for grating on the top. So we have a big pot for our pasta, another pot to finish it off with our cauliflower. So we'll put a fair bit of coarse salt, about 2 or 3 tablespoons. Again, coarse sea salt, it tastes better. It doesn't have that bitter salt flavor. It's just nicer to use. But before we get going anything else, we're going to make these breadcrumbs that we're going to put in the pasta and on top of the pasta. So I'll take the food processor. I'm going to put this bread, I'll tear it up a little bit. I've used sourdough bread. I did sneak in 1 slice of whole wheat bread because I had it left over. You don't have to use sourdough bread. You could use another white bread or whole wheat bread, whatever bread you like. So I'm going to get this fairly fine. So the bread comes pretty fine. I'm going to take the garlic. I'll save 2 for later, and I'm going to take 2 now and peel them. And I'll drop them into the breadcrumbs whole. Oh, there's an extra piece of peel there, I can see. I find 2 is about what I like. If you don't like garlic too much, you can put 1. But garlic's so good, we're going to put 2. And we got 2 shallots. We'll take 1 of the shallots and cut it and peel it. The shallot being a little bigger, I'll give it a slice or 2. The food processor will chop this up pretty good, but we don't want to run it too long because we're adding a little bit of moisture and we might get our breadcrumbs to go a little gummy. But we'll take those and we'll take about 1/4 of a bunch of our nice flat leaf parsley here. And I'll just give it a couple coarse chops. I'm not going to worry about making it too fine. We'll put that in there. I'll put about half of a tablespoon, or about half a teaspoon actually, of some coarse salt. I'll give it a couple grounds, well, several, many grains of coarse black pepper. I'll just watch it here because again, it'll come out really nice, but I don't want it to get a little bit gummy. We get that? Now, I'm just going to finish it off with about 2 tablespoons of virgin olive oil. And I'll just give it a little pulse here. And now we're going to toast these breadcrumbs in the oven. So I've got my convection oven preheated to about 350. If you didn't have a convection oven, you go about 375. I don't really time stuff like this. I'll kind of watch it. You know, how your oven is going to be a little different. Your bread is a little moister, it's a little drier. When they start to toast, they can go pretty quick sometimes. So I'll just kind of check it every minute or two. Probably take about 5 minutes maybe. Just keep my eye on it. When they're toasty brown, I'll take them out. I'll get them as evenly as I can. And you can make breadcrumbs like this. You could, once they're toasted, you could put them on top of like a salad, a green salad, or you could sprinkle them on some scrambled eggs. It would be really good. So here we go, about 350. Let's see how long they take. All right, so I got my cauliflower. We're going to cut it into pieces about that big. Like I said, I'll probably do about a cup of cauliflower per person. We're going to make pasta for 4 people. I'll do about 4 cups of cauliflower. A lot of times now you get cauliflower masquerading as something else. You get like the buffalo cauliflower or things like that. I think it's nice to make a vegetable dish like this where the thing is what it is, because the cauliflower is so delicious. When we put a little toast on it in the pan, it gets nice and nutty. And someone's come to help me. What you can do with the cauliflower stem is you can give it to your helper, and he'll enjoy that. That's part of the, that wasn't planned. He's not in the script. He's here nonetheless. Something going on in the kitchen. Alright, let's check these. Yeah, those are nice and toasty. So that took a little longer than I thought, probably about 10 or 15 minutes. Just keep your eye on them and make sure you get them done before you go on to the rest of the pasta. So let's just set these aside for now. I've got my water boiling, and at this point I'll make sure my other pan is on the low burner because I want to get, again, that deep heat to go through the whole pan. I don't want that quick little burst of heat at the end. I want a deep heat so it'll hold it in the sides and everything. So this dish at this point is a lot about timing. Our pasta will take, it says about 10 minutes on the package, so we'll want it al dente if we're going to put it back in here. So we're probably going to go about 8 minutes. And about halfway through that, at about 4 minutes, we're going to want to start our cauliflower. We want everything to be done at the end. So there's a little bit of timing, but it's just math. You know, 4 minutes, 8 minutes. So again, I'll use about 3/4 of this pasta for 4 people. Into the boiling salted water. We'll just have to give it a stir for a moment until it kind of comes down a little bit. All right, our pasta's all in the pot there. I'll turn it down a little bit because that's pretty bubbly. I'm using spaghetti here. A dish like this, I might like linguine or spaghettini, but I think it needs a long skinny pasta. I wouldn't be using like a rotini or a penne. It just doesn't work for me. Things like this, I like a long skinny pasta, but we could do it differently if you wanted. Sometimes for myself, I'll use a spelt or whole wheat pasta because it's got lots of fiber and that's really good for you. But again, this kind of pasta is fine too. Alright, so I had 4 garlic and 2 shallots. I've got 1 shallot and 2 garlic left. I peeled them and we'll slice them up. Not worried about getting them too fine. This is kind of a rustic dish. And this is where I like to be doing something like this and then go, ah! And then of course I haven't really cut my hand, but I like to do that anyway sometimes. Freak people out. And again, about 1/4 of a bunch of our nice parsley here. And again, nice and coarse. Keep it really big. There's the cauliflower that I cut up. Finish that off. Get this pan a little hotter. And it's going to take a fair bit of olive oil here. About 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. And we're going to put our cauliflower in here. We'll put one. Oh, there we get a little sizzle. Yeah. So we'll put it all. And give it a moment to get a little bit of a toast. So again, we're doing this at about halfway through. So, about 8 minutes. Now 4 minutes we're starting this. And our pasta should be cooked and our cauliflower done at the same time. We won't put our parsley or garlic or shallot yet because they'll just burn. But the cauliflower is big, it can get a little toasty. Again, I like a little bit of a flat spatula almost. Yeah, we can see some of the toast there. All right, getting nice and toasty. We're going to turn this down to low. And we'll put these ingredients down. Let them sit on the top while the pan cools down. And we'll add a good pinch of coarse salt and several grinds of fresh black pepper. I like a lot of black pepper. This is one of those things, too bad you can't smell it because the toasty cauliflower smells really good. Now I'll give it a stir. I'll get that garlic down there, and the parsley, and the shallot. Okay, we'll check the pasta, and we'll also take a little bit of pasta water out in reserve to use later. Often you want to have a little pasta water, and it's really awkward when you kind of drain your pasta trying to save the water. Just take it out ahead and put it in a measuring cup or a cup or something and just leave it there. Oh, we've had a little taste. Very good. Nice and al dente. All right, here's our pasta. We're going to take this and toss it right in there. Take our tongs and give it a mix. Now it's getting pretty dry. There's the heat from the pan. So now we'll add a little bit of our pasta water. We want to hear it, but we don't want to really see the water pool in the pan. And if you see it, a little bit of moisture there is disappearing. Make sure our pan's on medium. Now, back to our breadcrumbs. We're going to take half of the breadcrumbs, roughly half, not a measured half, and put it in the pasta. We're going to give it another little toss. And don't obsess with tossing it. Like once it's kind of mixed, it's like a cake batter or a pancake batter. 3/4 mixed is going to be fine. So there we go. I have a nice big bowl here. This is always a little awkward. I'll pick it up with one hand. Put it into the bowl. Again, just to go back, this is enough for 4 people that want to eat a lot of pasta. Now we'll take the remaining breadcrumbs and put them on top of the pasta. Finally, we'll take a piece of hard cheese, like Parmesan cheese. You could use Asiago cheese or Romano cheese, hard, salty old cheese, and use our microplane here. And get some cheese on it. This is of course, a vegetarian dish. There's no meat in this pasta, but if you want to put a small piece of Italian sausage, oh look, my cheese broke. When you added the cauliflower or a small piece of chorizo or some cooked bacon, it would add a little bit of depth of flavor. And you wouldn't be really making it meat-centric, it would just be like a little addition. Oh, the cheese is stuck on the back of my plane there. And as well, this would be a great candidate for a nice poached egg on top. And then when you broke the egg, all that yolk would go into the noodles and the breadcrumbs and the cheese. It would be really tasty. So here we go, toasted cauliflower spaghetti. I might enjoy a glass of Pinot Gris with this, nice crisp white wine, and have it with a big green salad. You can do this. You can make toasted cauliflower spaghetti. Now I'll put it on the counter for a close-up and play some jazzy music, and that's it till next time. Thanks.